Hey guys, it's Sarah, and today I'm doing a video that's kind of different and I'm actually really excited to share it with you guys. Today's video is being sponsored by HMH Teen in honor of the release of The Love Letters of Adhd and Lily by Laura Creedle. This book was released in December, so it's already available if you'd like to get it, but the reason I'm so excited about this video is because this book is actually about a neurodivergent couple. Lily, the main character, has ADHD, and the boy she ends up falling in love with has Asperger's syndrome. Adhd and Lily have known each other since elementary school, and now that they're in high school, they end up reconnecting when they both get detention for doing something in class, and basically they start to communicate to one another through love letters and they slowly fall in love. I was really excited when I read the synopsis for this book because it actually hits really close to home for me. My younger sister Megan actually grew up with an ADHD diagnosis, and she recently married her high school sweetheart who has Asperger's syndrome, and so I just felt like this book perfectly described Megan and Will's relationship, and so I was just really excited to see that on paper because I feel like books like this didn't exist when we were younger, and I feel like my sister really would have loved to read something that perfectly reflected her romance in real life. So basically what I've done for this video is, based on elements of this book, I put together a bunch of interview questions and I sent them to my sister, and she and Will recorded their answers and then they sent them back to me. I do apologize for the quality of some of the clips. I feel like we were working really lo-fi, not very good equipment. It's just really exciting to see something like a neurodivergent couple in a book and then also know a couple really intimately in real life. I'm not often an own voices reviewer, and I feel like, I mean, I'm really not in this case either, but I feel like because obviously I grew up very close to my sister, she's only a year and a half younger than me, a lot of what I saw in Lily's character in this book I also saw in my sister, and so I just feel like their interview gives a lot of insight and it's really exciting, and I really hope that you guys enjoy it.
Well, I was first diagnosed as I entered 2nd grade. I had a couple kids think that it was contagious. That was a fun fact. So I saw a lot of doctors to get diagnosed. And there's a lot of debate about what I had, so that was my experience.
I was initially diagnosed with ADHD in elementary school. Was medicated for ADHD for a while. They didn't diagnose me with Asperger's until I think my 2nd or 3rd year in high school.
He hit me on top of the head with books because he didn't know how else to flirt. Like, I don't know what he was doing, but I think he was flirting with me, which kind of stopped when we started dating, which was kind of sad in a way.
You want me to hit you in the head with
No,
books?
I don't, but it was the only way you flirted, okay? We'll go first this time.
No, let's let you do it.
No, I think you should go first. You liked me first.
That's true. I did like you first. I liked you almost right away.
By the time we were dating, we got asked on our first day that we were dating if we loved each other. And I remember feeling so put on the spot because Will responded, yes, he loved me. And we were like day 1 of dating, 24 hours, not even. And I was like, yeah! But that wasn't the case at that exact moment. I just thought I'd be an asshole to say no. But I obviously love him now because I married him. But
obviously.
so I'm bipolar. Obviously, I was misdiagnosed with ADHD. ADHD meds are all stimulants. When you give a stimulant that is either a medication or something like caffeine to someone who's bipolar, it increases the mania, which, of course, if you think they have ADHD and their mania is increasing, you're thinking the ADHD meds aren't working, so you're upping them, and it's just a bad cycle. I refused to continue medication freshman year, in about February of freshman year, so I was 14 years old. I had decided I wasn't gonna just keep hiding my meds. I was gonna just not take them. I refused. I put my foot down and said, no, this is not for me. With bipolar meds, I have found that a lot of them make me sick. But I have a lactose allergy, and a lot of medications have lactose in it, so I get migraines and upset stomach, and I just feel terrible. Like, I feel all around sick, which isn't a great feeling.
I just don't like medication. Alright, more specifically, I was on, of course, ADHD medication, Concerta, for quite a while until I was told that I didn't have ADHD, which really irritated me. And then, I was on Wellbutrin and Trileptal. Wellbutrin is an antidepressant, and Trileptal is actually an anti-seizure medication that they gave to me for mood stabilizers.
I'm allergic to that.
Yes, after I refused to take lithium. all it ultimately made me do was feel more or less completely apathetic and uninterested in everything all the time.
So, I don't know about Will, but I was bullied in elementary school. I was just the girl who talked a lot. And so no one really, like, I really wanted to fit in, like, so in 3rd grade, like, I wanted brats in 3rd grade because all the other girls had brats, but even when I had brats, they didn't want me to play with them. I have found that, looking back, that I understand where I started talking to walls. I think I mentioned that earlier.
You did mention, because they listen.
Yeah, and I had a therapist or psychiatrist or somebody ask me why I talk to walls, and I simply responded with, because they listen.
On the other hand, there were a couple instances where I dealt with bullies, which generally resulted with me resulting in, probably a bit more violence than necessary. In general, I just kind of ended up kind of misanthropic. I just kind of ended up hating people mostly.
I think Will communicates through touch. Like, it sounds strange because he doesn't like to be touched. If you ask his family, like, he hates to be touched. But I'll be talking to somebody and Will randomly come up to me and pat me on the head. Even now, during this, he's patted me on the head, and that's just how he shows his affection. Like, that's just how he says, oh, I love you. Like, that's his, this is me telling you I love you.
You talk in circles a lot.
Yeah, so, I don't know, how do you think I communicate that I care?
The best that you can.
Yeah, like how? Like, I do with this, like, touch. You tap my head, you tell me you love me, but you mostly come in physical contact, which just says a lot for you, who doesn't like
You do generally get around to using words. You generally mix them in with a lot of other words, but you pepper it in here and there. Oh boy.
So, as I said, Will has trouble articulating.
So I will never say anything.
Yeah, so sometimes he struggles to, I want to say stand up for himself, because I'm kind of, I don't want to say I'm a bully, but sometimes because I talk in circles, I'm very, to say the word demanding, like, I'm very...
Like, you'll talk you'll talk for half an hour, and you'll say the same sentence every 2 minutes.
But I also think I'm very stubborn, and so when I want things, I'm sometimes a little too stubborn, and Will doesn't always advocate.
Which is unhelpful, since I am also incredibly stubborn.
Right, so because...
So then I will refuse to be changing what I'm doing, but then I won't be articulating that properly to Megan, so she'll start thinking that I'm agreeing with her when I'm not.
Be self-aware. I know that sounds really silly, but...
And cliche.
And, yeah, it does sound a little cliche, but like I was saying, like, I'm stubborn and I can be a little bit of a, demanding is... Part of, like, when I was younger and I didn't know I had bipolar, I lashed out a lot. I would say to my mother I hated her and make my mom cry, like, because I didn't have the understanding of what I was doing, that I was hurting, and therefore I was lashing out to hurt someone else. So even as an adult, like, I have to be more aware, like, sometimes I'm, like, very demanding and I'm being unreasonable and I'm being illogical and irrational. And Will won't say anything to me, but I'll realize it, and I'll be like, oh, I'm sorry. And I'll have to, like, restart and realize, like, I have to take a step back. Like, sometimes the things I get annoyed at aren't Will's doing, they're my doing, because I'm not being self-aware that I am more prone to lashing out. I'm more prone to these things because I have an emotional disorder.
Introspective. The word you're looking for is introspective.
But then he just seems like that, and he wonders why I want to kill him.
My opinion is that, yes, you have to understand yourself and your limitations. But you also have to understand that the person you're with also has their limitations, and you have to be able to think of when, are they really feeling like this, or is this just them, or are they going to regret this later on? And try to avoid doing anything that'll make it worse when they do come to their senses later.
But yeah, that's pretty much it for the interview that I did with Will and Megan. I thought the most perfect way to end this video would be to share their wedding vows with you. I'm gonna tear up a little bit. When they said their wedding vows, I actually cried a little bit because I just love my sister a lot. It's just so great to see her and Will you know, in a relationship, and you know, they're different than other people, but their love is just as real and as special as anybody else's. And I just feel like books like this are just really important because there's people like this that exist in real life. I really hope you enjoy listening to their vows. I just want to thank Megan and Will so much for participating in this video and then for going ahead and recording their vows for me. I feel like that was an extra thing that they didn't have to do for me. And also a special thanks to HMH Teen for sponsoring this video and for bringing books like this to the world for us to read.
It has been said that it is not love that makes marriage work, but friendship. And I feel very fortunate that both of us have both qualities in ample reserves. I have difficulty expressing the magnitude of my feelings as words, and I stand before you today, this ultimate expression of love. And so I vow to you today to protect you when you're frightened, care for you while you're ill, and cherish every moment together as we embark on our journey down the path to eternity.
Back in high school, he once wrote me a poem. Love is lost within the world, anger flares in light of misconceptions, sadness comes and sees its flag unfurled, feeding itself on varying perceptions. He wrote it for me after we had our own varying perceptions. This poem means the world to me because although I couldn't appreciate then, I understand now just how much it means to you. Going forward in our own lives, I know we will have our own perceptions, yet I know that we will continue to stand the misconceptions. You make me so happy to be in love with you, and today is just our first step. I love you.
Searching for bases, covering up the hole. I'll fight for your love, I'll fight for your soul. I'll throw all of my cares away for you.